women's field.
Looking at our pace setter here, this is Kate Mitchell. She'll be going through 1 kilometer, 64 seconds per each lap. As I said, she'll be our pace setter today. So a lot of big names will be looking out for this one. Getting the opportunity to be that pace setter.
I was just going to say that's a really stellar time to be, clicking off those 64s. That is a wildly fast-paced job.
So Kate Mitchell now making her way down the home straightaway. As you said, the crowd's starting to file in here.
Well, next up, you see there in that blazing Puma kit, the recognizable face there of Jessica McGorty of Puma Elite. And, trains, not far from here. Stanford grad, started her pro career right here in the Triangle. And we haven't talked a lot about them, but ran these pop-up miles. That's how she got her start. And took victory in the Sir Walter qualifier just a few weeks ago. Won the America's Mile in Pittsburgh and looking to build on that here tonight. Jess McGorty. All smiles, and I love that high five tunnel. That's one of my favorite memories of this event.
Former Stanford Cardinal, and also we'll see her husband race the mile tonight on the men's side in Sean McGorty, formerly known as Jess Lawson. This is Amaris TYYNISMAA, the former Alabama standout, then went to North Carolina State this last year, helped the Wolfpack to another cross-country national championship. Her lifetime best 4:33.22, ran her PR at the Tyson Invitational in Arkansas in 2021, a two-time ACC champion when she joined the Wolfpack in spring of 2023.
Love that aerial shot again of that high five tunnel. Makes you feel like a rock star. That's what this meet does over and over again. And speaking of rock stars, giving yourself a little pump up there, ma'am, of course you should. This is Lindsey Butler, another recent NCAA grad out of Virginia Tech, and she won that NCAA title in the 800 meters 2 years ago, moved up to the 1500. We've talked a little bit about whether the 1500 or the mile is more sort of an 800 or a 5,000 meter runner's piece of cake, but certainly using all of her speed to her advantage, comes in with a best of 4:31.41 indoors.
And high school teammate of Jess McGorty as well, so a nice little homecoming for these gals right here. Alexina TEUBEL, lifetime best 4:27.67, is the coach at her alma mater, Northern Iowa. Ran a season's best 4:29 at the Festival Miles back on May 30th. And was a semifinalist in the 1500 at the recent U.S. Olympic trials.
All right, and with hip 5 from Eugene, Oregon, she's a practicing physical therapist who just missed breaking 4:30 here last year. But earlier this spring, don't worry.
All right, so here we go. Next up, Jen Randall of Oregon Track Club. Look, she is a sub 4:30 gal. She broke that barrier, 4:28. And did that earlier this spring. Wants to go even faster here tonight. She just missed out on that. She ran just over 4:30 here last year, but she is no stranger to Sir Walter Myler, looking to put herself in good contention for the win. 4:28.23 her best, and all the best to Oregon Track Club's Jen Randall.
And if we're being specific, it's Dr. Jen Randall, since she does have a full-time job. Yes, Dr. Jen Randall, at 32 years old, has a full-time job and is still running super well. Allie Buchalski.
Put some respect on her name.
Exactly. Brooks Beast Track Club, Allie Buchalski, of course, the former Furman standout, lifetime best 4:40.39 is event. Can expect that time to drop, especially after the year she's been having with the Brooks Beast, and even the entire group as a whole has had a great year. It's been a semifinalist in the 1500 at the Olympic trials, was second in the 5,000 recently at the Sunset Tour on July 20th.
Looking to mix it up with the veterans here tonight. This is Flomena ASEKOL.
So we talked about how we have an international crew here. I was one of them as a Canadian. This is a Kenyan. We just missed her intro, but we got to give some respect there to Flomena ASEKOL. 4:26.47 indoors, her best. 5th in the 1500 meter at the NCAA Outdoor Championships for the University of Florida, and looking to mix it up here at Sir Walter Myler.
And here's our defending champion, Abby Nichols out of Hoka NAZ Elite. Again, the Colorado grad, lifetime best 4:26.08. Won this event last year in 4:26.80 and looking to become the first ever male or female athlete to win back-to-back Sir Walter Mile Championships.
All right, and hip number 9, another woman you've seen probably training right here in the triangle. That's All-American for Campbell University. Has been winning race.
So I don't want to miss her because we have another international in the mix coming up here. This is Dorcas EWOI of Kenya, and coming off a great performance at the Holloway Classic in Gainesville a few weeks ago. I had the privilege of calling her race there as well. One of the best 800-meter runners right now. She came away with the win there and is looking to put her name on this event. 1,500-meter PB of 4:05, only a 4:49.90 indoor miler, but with a 4:05.15, you know that mile time's going down. She might get one of those bonus, prizes, and that would be all the kudos to her.
And it's really been a career year for her. Along with that Holloway Pro Classic, she won the Penn Relays 800 as well. Christina Aragon of the Bowerman Track Club, the former Stanford standout, 4:30.91, her lifetime best, ran that PR back in February at Boston University, was 10th in the 1500 final at the US Olympic Trials, and then recently ran in Italy her PR in the 1500, 4:04.44. Lots of racing, as I said, since the Olympic Trials for her in Europe, particularly with that one in Italy that stands out the most.
She broke 4:30 for the first time here in 2021. She came back to Raleigh in 2022 and lowered her life.
Well, as we continue seeing the kudos there, a familiar face and a familiar runner for me. I've raced this woman quite a bit. Eleanor FULTON comes in with a 4:23.65 best. That is the second fastest mile time of the field. Unbelievable. Second fastest in Sir Walter Miler history. She set that mark, I should say, here in 2022. And surely going to run in with lots of confidence in the 2024 edition. Broke 4:30 for the first time here in 2021 as well. So she likes this track. She likes this crowd.
And someone looking for a huge bounce back effort, as we mentioned earlier, did not necessarily have the best Olympic trials and was hoping to make that U.S. team. This is Sage Hurta-Klecker, the two-time NCAA indoor champion. Again, finished 5th in the 800 at the trials, was hoping to make that team and really voiced her displeasure, especially with the Thing Mo going down and just the frustration about it. But this is an opportunity for her to bounce back in the win column and show the U.S. that she truly could potentially bet on that team this year.
Gotta love that fire in the belly. When things don't go right, it can often spur greatness, and we are certainly looking to see that from several of our performers tonight. Rounding out our field, last but certainly not least, the Tokyo Olympian in the 1500 meter. This is going to be, we talked about returners. This is going to be her first outing at Sir Walter Miler, but my goodness, does this woman have a resume. Ms. Heather MacLean of New Balance Boston has so many accolades to her name. She's a 1:58 800 meter runner, a 3:58 1500 meter runner. So few athletes have done that in the U.S. And again, represented Team USA in 2021 at Tokyo. Thrilled to welcome her to her first ever Sir Walter Miler experience. And I love this. She hasn't been to this meet before. She's the only runner. I know she's starting on the outside, but ran to that outside and gave the high fives to the outside crowd. Everyone else gave the infield crowd the high fives. So now they've all touched greatness, Keenan.
I'd like to think over in Paris right now, Emily Mackay and Ellie St. Pierre are up for this, wanting to watch and see what Heather MacLean can do, their teammate from New Balance. Be exciting to see what happens here in this women's field. And so we've mentioned it over and over again. This is a loaded field, and we're going to see a lot of great performances. That sub 4:30 barrier, only 9 have broken that in a race. That's the barrier to reach, and see if we can try to get that in the double digits this year.
Well, it's a stacked field, of course, with the returning winner from last year, Abby Nichols. But several other women looking to put her on notice. You can see how tight that straightaway is going to be.
So there you see the start list and their hip assignments. Again, it's MCGORTY, TYYNISMAA, Butler, TEUBEL, RANDALL, BUCHALSKI, ASEKOL, NICHOLS, EWOI, Aragon, Fulton, Hurta-Klecker, and then MacLean to round out the 13 racers. Mitchell, of course, pacing through the first 1K, 64 seconds. So we're underway, the women's elite mile here at the Sir Walter Miler.
And what a cool shot there. These athletes will swing around, of course, this opening turn. Our pacer getting well established. I love that. The watch check at 100. I have done a lot of pacing jobs, including 6 diamond leagues, and let me tell you, sometimes they were 50-meter checks. But that means that she is all business up front. Love to see that. Eleanor Fulton, that tall figure, very recognizable. The tall blonde slotted in third right now. And I believe that's MacLean up in the lead. Not surprising to see her tracking our pacer, and that is a great spot for her to be in. She's just tucked in on the back, and then Fulton sitting on the outside shoulder of MacLean. What a top 3 with a little bit of separation back to third in the race proper, as our top 2 are sitting behind our rabbit.
So single file as they go down here in the first straightaway on the home stretch. Mitchell, MacLean. Then we're looking at splits here. Mitchell at 64.10, so right on pace. Mitchell, MacLean, Fulton, 1, 2, 3. Then Hurta-Klecker in that 4th position, although it's really 3rd with Mitchell being the pacer.
This is exactly what you want to see. You know, I looked back on my race from this meet back in 2017, 2018, and we had some excellent pacers. Unfortunately, the field just didn't go with her. I can't blame them. I was part of it. But when you have an excellent pacer going out exactly what you want to be running, you want to be sitting on the back. You want to take advantage of excellent conditions, and that's exactly what we're seeing up front here from Heather MacLean, Eleanor Fulton, and then Sage Hurta-Klecker. Again, unsurprising to see those 3 sitting in those positions right now with Dorcas EWOI in the wings.
EWOI right there back in 4th position, just right behind Hurta-Klecker, and then Christina ARAGON chasing them down in 5th position. Back there in 6th is the former Florida standout, Flomena ASEKOL, as we've gone through 880 yards now through the halfway point. 209.59, 65.50, a little bit slower of that last lap. And you can definitely see the pace picking up here as Mitchell moves herself onto the outside in lane 2.
Well, a great job by Mitchell to put them in this position. I got to tell you, anytime you're sub 210, I should say, through 800 meters, you know, for a 1500, that bodes really well. To do that in a mile is absolutely stellar. So we know it's a good night. We know the fields are hot. We know that conditions are perfect for these runners. But now MacLean is in that position of being the pace setter proper up front, and she's trying to really turn the gears to the women behind her, make them work for it. She's got that strength, but she also has speed. But now, look who is sitting in the wings in 3rd right now. Sage Hurta-Klecker. We talked about that fire in her belly, and she wants something as a form of redemption. She swings into 2nd now, and this is going to be a barn burner, I think, Keenan, of a final lap.
Hurta-Klecker to 2nd, EWOI into 3rd, but still Heather MacLean with 1 lap to go. Right at the bell, 3:16, 66.34, within range of 4:21.89. Nikki Hiltz set back in 2022.
Well, you better believe that that time is in the mind of all these athletes. The money matters a lot. The title matters more. And it is Heather MacLean continuing to run so bold up front. She has been leading every step of this race, albeit behind Mitchell, the pace setter, early on. But this is a gutsy way to get after it. All the kudos in the world to her for making this an honest race. Just over 200 meters to go for Heather MacLean. It was 64, 65, 66, and with 200 meters remaining, she continues to lead with Klecker in the wings looking to make her move.
And it's Hurta-Klecker now moving on to the outside along with EWOI as well. That's Dorcas EWOI of Puma. They're 3 across now as they head into the home straightaway. EWOI and MacLean, now EWOI into the lead. Bragging rights up for grabs as well as money. It will be Dorcas EWOI at the line. And it's 4:19.71, a new meet record here at the Sir Walter Miler. And in fact, 3 women under Nikki Hiltz's time of 4:21.89.
Absolutely unbelievable performance there. That was incredible, Keenan. And I got to tell you, I'm sorry, I just lost contact there for a second, but in case you didn't mention it, I got to say, that's a $6,600 payday for Dorcas EWOI. What a run there. Another perfectly timed race by the Kenyan to take the victory. That was astounding. 4:19, what a run. MacLean, she should get all the flowers for having done this work. Again, she set the table. She prepared everything. Excellent conditions for these runners to come around. Sage Hurta-Klecker, Dorcas EWOI, there you see her swinging wide, and then look at this acceleration. I love this drone shot because she puts big distance on two of the best runners in North America. But then look at the return of the call by Sage Hurta-Klecker. I think she just, you know, you can see her boxed out a little bit. This perspective is actually really helpful because I think that she maybe just didn't have the pathway to get around. But the acceleration by Hurta-Klecker through that final 80 meters really answered the call by Dorcas EWOI. I think it was just a little bit too late. She ran out of track, not able to catch the eventual winner, but my goodness, EWOI of Kenya and of Puma Elite and of accolades greater than we have time to talk about. What a stunning run.
62.99, that last 440 yards for Dorcas EWOI and Sage Hurta-Klecker.